What you gonna do?
I'm gonna try to get through this video without losing my lunch, brother. Have you ever felt like we're locked on the set of Idiocracy? Well, you're not alone.
He always finds a way to win. And when he's back in our White House, America is gonna start winning again.
He's got a higher IQ than any man alive. He's gonna fix everything.
The price of food and gas and housing is out of control. And the only person who can clean this up is Donald Trump.
He'll fix the problems with all the dead crops. He's gonna make them grow again.
Make America great again.
He's gonna make them grow again. Make America great again.
He's gonna win in November, and we're all gonna be champions again when he wins.
I give you my word. He's gonna fix the economy.
Let Trumpomania run wild, brother. Let Trumpomania make America great again.
That's what I thought.
Welcome back to the Disturbing Illusion channel, where we collate all the deceptive nonsense and the obvious nonsense from the circus under the political big top so you don't have to. Now, I know a lot of you believe that your government would never lie, cheat, and steal from you. And it would be beyond your wildest dreams to realize that they actually have training manuals on how to lie, cheat, and steal from you. So maybe you need to see this as kind of a smelling salt for reality.
When I was a cadet, what's the cadet motto at West Point? You will not lie, cheat, or steal, or tolerate those who do. I was the CIA director. We lied, we cheated, we stole. It was like we had entire training courses.
That's former CIA Director Mike Pompeo. But I'm sure it's different for the FBI, the ATF, the DEA, the TSA, and all the other alphabet soup agencies. Like the Secret Service Director. She'd never lie to us. See, she's got her right hand up. She probably has her left hand on a Bible.
So you said, do you remember in an ABC interview you did that you didn't have people on the roof of the AGR building because you were worried about safety because of the slope?
I recall that statement.
Okay. Does the Secret Service have written policy you can share with us about slope roofs?
No.
Okay. So why'd you act like there was one? So here's this thing with the slopes. You go all up to like 1812, you can go to a 112, which is about as flat as you can get without it being completely flat. And you're saying that there was a danger, safety concern there, but the problem is, Director, you put your counter snipers on a 312 roof, which is steeper than the 112. And by the way, the 112 is ADA compliant. You can build a ramp for a wheelchair on a 112 roof. So these are nothing but pathetic excuses, and they make no sense, and they're a bunch of cow dung. All the law enforcement I've spoken with over the last 9 days are amazed that the AGR rooftop was not secure. And you want to know why? Because it's dangerous. I have never had any long gun training in my life. I own an AR-15, and last time I shot it one time my whole life. It was 6 years ago. That is until Saturday, where we recreated the events in Savoy, Texas. We recreated what happened in Butler. I was lying prone on a sloped roof at 130 yards at 6:30 at night. And I knew that he had a scope. I didn't know what kind, red dot or magnified. So I shot 8 rounds from both. You know what the result was? 15 out of 16 kill shots. And the one I missed would have hit the president's ear. That's a 94% success rate. And that shooter was a better shot than me. I believe your horrifying ineptitude and your lack of skilled leadership is a disgrace. Your obfuscating today is shameful. And you should be fired immediately and go back to Garden Doritos. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
But at least this lie, cheater, and stealer is gone from the equation. She resigned today. See my last video for details. I don't know if you heard, but the Trump shooter's dad, Mr. Crook, was recently confronted with questions while shopping for groceries.
Matthew, why would your son want to kill the president?
Back off.
No comment.
No comment.
Were there any warning signs, Matthew? No comment.
How's Mary holding up?
No comment.
We'll release a statement when our legal counsel advises us to do so. Until then, we have no comment. We just want to try to take care of ourselves right now. So please, Give us our space.
Have the feds released the body to you yet?
While the monetary collapse inches closer for all Americans and the central bank digital currency surveillance coin seeks easy entry into our society, Democrat propagandists like Tyler Cohen says that this statement by Kamala Harris is the stuff of nightmares for the Israeli-focused Trump administration. Of course, he doesn't mention the Israel part for obvious reasons.
You know, as many of you know, before I was elected as vice president, before I was elected as United States Senator, I was the elected Attorney General, as I've mentioned, of California. Before that, I was a courtroom prosecutor. In those roles, I took on perpetrators of all kinds. Predators who abused women. Fraudsters who ripped off consumers. Cheaters who broke the rules for their own gain. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type. And in this campaign, I will proudly put my record against his. As a young prosecutor, when I was in the Alameda County District Attorney's Office in California, I specialized in cases involving sexual abuse. Donald Trump was found liable by a jury for committing sexual abuse. As Attorney General of California, I took on one of our country's largest for-profit colleges and put it out of business. Donald Trump ran a for-profit college, Trump University, that was forced to pay $25 million to the students it scammed. As district attorney, to go after polluters, I created one of the first environmental justice units in our nation. Donald Trump stood in Mar-a-Lago and told big oil lobbyists he would do their bidding for a $1 billion campaign contribution. During the foreclosure crisis, I took on the big Wall Street banks and won $20 billion for California families, holding those banks accountable for fraud. Donald Trump was just found guilty of 34 counts of fraud.
That right there is the stuff of nightmares for Donald Trump. It is bad enough that he's trying to become president as a 34-time convicted felon. That unto itself is disqualifying. But now, Donald Trump the felon is running against Kamala Harris the prosecutor. And just like she prosecuted people exactly like him for her entire career,
Brian's right. She did prosecute people her entire career, including 1,500 people for simple violations, and laughing about it, as Tulsi Gabbard well pointed out during the 2020 selection process.
I want to bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting Black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked.
Have you ever smoked?
I have.
Okay. Like
and I inhale. I did inhale.
Okay.
It was a long time ago.
She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
In a recent interview with Faux News, Gabbard rightly says that the power elite of the military-industrial complex controls Biden and Harris and all the Democrats, so nothing's going to change.
We just got to remember, nothing's going to change. If Kamala Harris is the nominee or some other Democrat is the nominee, nothing else is going to change. Joe Biden has been the figurehead for people behind the scenes who have been calling the shots. The same will happen if Kamala Harris is elected president or other Democrats. The fact is we've got unelected power elite in Washington coming from the military-industrial complex, national security state, working with their friends in the big industrial propaganda media. They all just want to stay in power. So they don't really actually care at all about Joe Biden, no matter how many crocodile tears they shed. They're going to look for the best horse that they think will help them win and back that person.
In keeping with the entire dog and pony show script, Cohen actually says that if you could lab grow a candidate who would deliver the most difficulty to Donald Trump, it would be Kamala Harris.
If you could scientifically engineer the worst possible candidate for Trump to run against, she'd probably look like Kamala Harris. And here's the difference from last week to this week. And I say this with every ounce of respect and admiration for Joe Biden, but he wasn't able to articulate the case against Donald Trump. He wasn't able to effectively hit him on his massive, massive liabilities. But Kamala is not only able to do it, this stuff is quite literally her background. It's her entire life and her career. It's what they've all prepared her to do.
I totally agree, Brian. They have prepared Kamala to play her part in this massive bread and circuses sideshow. And you, my friend, are merely sitting in the booth selling tickets to all the rides.
If you could scientifically engineer the worst possible candidate for Trump to run against, she'd probably look like Kamala Harris.
Well, team, what have we done?
Sir, we've genetically modified a nightmarish candidate who will give the maximum amount of difficulty to Donald Trump. The only problem is we can't get rid of the cackles, sir.
This is truly the stuff of nightmares.
It's the stuff of nightmares.
And speaking of the stuff of nightmares, I'm not sure, but I think Reid pulled the race card again by saying that if you don't vote for Kamala, you're gonna look real crazy.
Just stratospheric entrance of Vice President Kamala Harris into the presidential campaign, and she has now secured enough delegates to become the nominee. You're gonna look real crazy being on the other side of that line, particularly as a person of color, but really as anyone who claims to have any connection to the culture. You're gonna look real weird and real lonely on that side. The door needs to close behind Amber, and she looked crazy over there, but shut the door behind her. You really are going to look crazy being on that side, given the cultural phenomenon of Vice President Kamala Devi Harris. She's about to make history. She's about to become the first woman president.
And let me just leave you with one last thought. Maybe we should all adopt the mentality of this guy.
This is an official apology video, man. I just want to say I'm sorry for trying to burst y'all little bubble, man. I get it. Like, I finally understand. Politics is Santa Claus for grown folk. I get it. Like, for whatever reason, some of y'all just can't go outside and connect with the trees and the earth and wind and people and shit. So you got to put all your hopes and belief that these politicians going to save you from something. Like, I get it, man. And then the politicians benefit from y'all believing in Santa Claus, so they uphold the image of Santa Claus. Like, yeah, kids, put your milk and cookies out, go to bed early. You know what I'm saying? And y'all sit there with that naive ass belief, like, I'm gonna wait up all night for Santa Claus, and Santa Claus never come. Then when you finally go to sleep, they in there eating your milk and cookies. Like, that's y'all taxes and donations and shit, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, thank you for subscribing to this channel, liking these videos, and sharing them with everybody you know. That's the only way channels like this can get the message out and grow. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video.